Welcome to Recap City. Please click subscribe, like button. We will talk about film recaps called Bullet Train, which is about a group of killers who were unknowingly hired by the same person called the White Death to do almost the same job, and one by one things started going wrong for them. At the beginning of the movie, a man called Yuichi Kimura is seen in a hospital with his son Wataru on the hospital bed while he sobs before his grandfather came to join him and they had a discussion. The Ladybug agent, standing in for the sick Carver, also an assassin, is tasked with retrieving a briefcase full of cash from the bullet train while being led by his handler Maria Beetle on the phone. Ladybug is hesitant because of his recent run of terrible luck at work, which included accidental fatalities. On his way to the locker in the train station where he was supposed to retrieve some things he might need for his mission, he was bumped into by Yuichi Kimura, who is also referred to as the father who stole his train ticket after it fell from his pocket. Upon reaching the locker, Ladybug realizes he lost the key and then proceeds to pick the lock. He takes some firecrackers and sleeping powder, but refuses to take the gun even though his handler asked him to. The father used the train ticket he stole to board the bullet train in order to kill the person behind his son's accident of falling from the rooftop. Two English assassin brothers with the code name Lemon and Tangerine are also traveling on the train. They have recently rescued a man named the Sun from kidnappers and are transporting him along with his ransom in a briefcase to his father, a Russian-born Yakuza boss known as the White Death. Ladybug steals the suitcase covertly, which he found to be too easy, but as he exits the train he is ambushed by the Wolf, another assassin who knows Ladybug from his wedding where his wife was murdered together with their guests and his boss. The Wolf considers Ladybug to be one of his wife's killers, which is incorrect. While fighting with the Wolf, the Ladybug accidentally killed him with a deflected knife thrown at him. Lemon and Tangerine discover their briefcase is missing and Tangerine had to inform Lemon of the person they are dealing with. The White Death is a Russian man who is rumored to be a Russian exile from the Russian mafia, or was an ex-KGB who claimed his way quickly up in rank when he joined the Japanese underworld, who at that time was ruled by a man named Minjishi that he later killed along with his men after gaining his trust. The White Death wife had died recently too. Meanwhile, Yuichi tracks down the young woman known as the Prince who attacked Wataru. But as a result of her innocent facade, she overpowered him. She takes him to the bathroom after he wakes up from being electrocuted by her. She explains that as part of her plan to kill the White Death, she needs Yuichi, hence, she lures Wataru off a roof to lure Yuichi to the train. She has a henchman holding Wataru prisoner in the hospital in order to get his cooperation, and if anything happens to her, his son will also be killed. After their talk, both Tangerine and Lemon went back to their seat where they left the son. But instead of the much alive person they left, they were met with a dead one. Now they have no choice but to find the money or they will face the White Death's wrath, hence they disguised the body to look alive and went their separate ways. When Tangerine walks by the prince and the father, he asks them if they have seen someone with a silver briefcase that has a train ticket on the handle, and the prince confirmed to have seen the person. She went on to describe the person and Tangerine left after thanking her upon realizing that it was the same person he saw hiding when he was talking on the phone. Ladybug meets with Lemon and promises to return the case in exchange for being allowed to leave the place alive, as the both of them have met before when Ladybug spots Lemon on a job gone wrong in Johannesburg and got shot by Lemon twice, but Lemon denies their meeting. Lemon accused Ladybug of killing the son, which sparked a brawl when Lemon refused to hear him out. The fight ends with Ladybug rendering Lemon unconscious. He also poured the sleeping powder he brought in his water before leaving. On his way out of the cabin, Ladybug informs his handler of the prospect of someone else working on the train, and this person will be the same as the one who killed the son and the one the Wolf was coming to get his revenge on. Tangerine comes back and finds Lemon unconscious, then forcefully wakes him up. Later, Lemon talks to Tangerine in secret about Ladybug's innocence before going off in search of him to accuse him of killing the son because they need someone to take responsibility. The prince also locates the briefcase in a waste bin in the cabin. He killed the Wolf after seeing that Ladybug is busy. She asks the father to open the briefcase, but he informs her he doesn't know the password, but the prince asks him to keep trying it until it opens and locks him on the washroom. When she returns, the father already opens the briefcase and she places explosives in it in such a way that when opened it will blow up. She also modifies Yuichi's gun so that it will go off if shot and hopefully kills the White Death. Ladybug runs into Tangerine and they fought each other till the next train stop where the White Death had asked to see his son and his money. They both took a random case to show the White Death's goon, but as the train was about to leave, the case accidentally opened due to Ladybug mistake. The White Death asked them to go out on the next stop again, where everyone on the train dies. On the next stop, Ladybug kicks Tangerine off the train as it takes off, but he climbs back on from outside after he avoids the men of the White Death. Lemon came across the prince and the father, who he asks about Ladybug and the case from, and he became suspicious of the two after the prince's reply. He then points his gun at both of them, but due to the fact that he does not know the bad guy between the two, he asks them to point at the one in charge, and if the both of them point differently, he will shoot the two of them, and he eventually ends up shooting at Yuichi later when he was the one the prince pointed at, and he also raised his own hands due to his child being held hostage. Lemon drags him to the restroom and then confront the prince, but he passes out after consuming water that Ladybug had previously laced with sleeping powder when he was unconscious. Lemon is shot by the prince, and due to his situation, she then hides him together with Yuichi in a restroom. Ladybug runs across the Hornet, a new assassin who used the venom of a boomslang snake which has been reported missing from a zoo on the news to poison the sun and the people at Wolf's wedding party. He was able to recognize her when he found her picture due to his body search on the wolf after accidentally killing him. The both of them become exposed to the venom after a struggle, but only Ladybug is given an anti-venom that saves him while the Hornet dies on the spot. When Tangerine runs into the prince, he almost walked by them when he realizes that she shot Lemon when he sees one of Lemon's train stickers on her that says she is the bad guy. Tangerine is slain before he can shoot the prince as Ladybug interrupts them, thinking that the prince is just an innocent girl, and due to their gun struggle, he was shot in the neck. The older, who is the father of Yuichi, boards the train at the following station. He meets with Ladybug and the prince, but the former had to leave the two when a snake, which happens to be the same poisonous one been used in the killings, bit him. The elder acknowledges the prince and lets her know that Wataru is safe because his guard has slain the henchman she sent to ensure his safety, and she left saying she will kill the White Death herself. The elder tells Ladybug that he will stay behind to confront the White Death, who killed his wife during the time he was seizing control of the Yakuza, the Japanese underworld, after he returned from his snake plight. The four work together to make plans to combat the White Death after discovering Yuichi and Lemon are still alive. The elder will be fighting the White Death. The father will head towards the back to stop the White Death goons, as many as he can. Lemon will go and try to start the train to get them out of the place, and lastly Ladybug will be the distraction. Ladybug gives the briefcase to the White Death and Kyoto when they meet. The prince, who it turns out is the White Death's daughter, confronts him, but her plan is unsuccessful in getting him to shoot her with the rigged gun that would have blown in his face if he takes the shot. During his confrontation with Ladybug, he reveals that everyone aboard the train was connected to the passing of his wife, including his son. He made it known that when his son, who always gets into trouble, got himself kidnapped again, his wife, despite their agreement not to save him anymore, decides to rescue their son when he was away due to Tangerine and Lemon's involvement in his business. Hence, the assassin called Carver caused his wife's accident, and when she was about to be operated on, the surgeon was killed by the Hornet, so according to the White Death, he recruited them in the hopes that they would kill each other. When the briefcase is opened by the White Death's henchmen, who are suspicious of the case already, it explodes, throwing Ladybug and the White Death back onto the train. The elder fights the White Death while the surviving henchmen of the White Death board and engage the killers. Lemon, who is placed in charge of operating the train, finds it difficult to control it since everything is written in Japanese, and due to this, the train rams into Kyoto's city center after Ladybug also had an attempt in stopping the train. The White Death attempts to kill Ladybug after emerging from the crash, still pierced by the elder's katana from their previous fight before the crash. Using the rigged gun he took from the prince during their confrontation previously explodes in his face and he dies. Using a machine gun, the prince suddenly appears and threatens Ladybug, Yuichi, and the elder, saying she will be the next White Death. But she was struck by a fruit truck being driven by Lemon, who had earlier fallen off the train in an attempt to save Ladybug from being killed by the goons. Ladybug handler arrives at the scene in a car at the same time the Japanese authority came to clean up the scene, but as Ladybug was admiring his handler's car, another bad luck before them as a scrap of metal the train ruined fell on it, and they had no transport home.